All right, good morning, and we're working on our next Animate video here. Now, what you're going to be doing on this one is you're going to be assembling the walk cycle that you made on paper into something that's going to be in a digital format. Okay, now, the way this is going to work, it will look a little odd with the background and everything, but that's okay. It's kind of designed that way. It's more to give you a sense of how to do a couple different things in Animate. All right, so I'm going to be doing this over a couple different videos. I will try to keep each as brief as possible. I will introduce the concept and then leave you on your own to finish out the rest of the steps. Because a lot of what you do in animation is repetition. Okay, so you begin with one thing and then you just kind of have to do it several times and then move on to the next thing. So what we're going to do to start out is we need a new file to work with. If yours is coming up with the blanks through here, you can always go up here to File and choose New. And from here, we do want it at 24 frames per second. So you want your frame rate at 24. And go ahead and choose HD. Okay, now I need to double check how your images are going to come through. If I need to find that a better size would work, I will let you know. But I'm going to start out with it in HD, and I'm going to click Create. Now, in order to import your image, okay, here's a quick tip. I'm going to go ahead and reduce out to at least 50%, and we need to import. Okay, so you don't want to go open. If you choose open, it's going to try to open the wrong thing. Okay, you're not going to find your file. It's essentially how it's going to work. You need to go to import, and you want to import to stage. Right, so once you do this, you find where your file is at. Okay, and mine's already there because that's the last thing that I had opened up. And I go ahead and click open. All right, now you can see, let me zoom out. You can see I'm much bigger than the stage right now. So I do need to minimize this. So I'll go ahead and target the free transform tool and let's resize this. I'm holding the shift key because I don't want to distort the size of my character. And basically I want it big enough so that one fits on the frame nicely. All right, and now I can go ahead and zoom back into 50%. And I like how he's sitting right there on the frame, so we are good. I'm just going to leave him right there. I'm going to rotate this a little bit, only because I see that that line is crooked. And if that line stays crooked, then it will, he'll look like he's walking downhill. Okay. All right, and oddly enough, the bottom is slanted up. All right, so I may have to make some adjustments on the fly as we go, but that's not a big deal. All right, so I'm going to take this and go ahead and drag it down. And now what I want to do is go ahead and, because you'll see in the instructions, it says the toughest part of this assignment is making a movie symbol with your animation, and that's what we're going to be doing. Okay, so we need to start off with that. So I'm going to go here and open up my library so I can see where it is. So I can see I've got a walk cycle example JPEG up here. What I need to do is create a new symbol. So I'm going to press Control F8, and I want the type set to movie clip, and I'm going to call this walking. Now, once I have that, oh, it did not import my image with it. All right, so let me undo that. I'm going to target that, and let's go ahead and press F8 and try it again. Walking 2. Okay, so that one did, but what I need to do is double click on walking 2 in order to, come on. There we go. In order to open it up. Now, the thing with movie symbols and any kind of symbols is you see that little plus sign? That is your central point. Okay, so that is the point we're going to focus on. Now, I'm going to go ahead and set this up right here. Okay, and this is going to be kind of my reference. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this source. The reason I'm calling it source is that's where I'm going to be getting my images from. All right, so what I need to do is have something where I'm actually creating the animation. So I need to do that on a separate layer. Now, before I do that, let me tell you, you have 8 images, okay? And I do want you to animate it in on the 2s. So that means every one is going to take up 2 frames. So that's going to put you out to frame 16. Now, as a time management school, and this is our tool, this is just my experience talking, the easiest way to do this. Okay, you go ahead and mark frame 16 out here for your source, and you press F5 because we need this source on there the whole time. Now, if you are correctly in your movie symbol, you want to make sure that you've got this. You see where it's got this arrow up here and it says walking to? Okay, that indicates that I'm in the symbol instance. Okay, you'll understand what that is at some point later. Not right now, but you'll get it. Okay, so from here, I need a new layer. And this new layer, I'm going to name this walking. And I am ready to start work on this. All right, so I'm going to zoom in some. And let's go ahead and move this a little closer to my plus sign. The plus sign, that's your target. Okay, so first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is show you how to cut out your images. So you can use that polygon tool that's underneath the free transform tool. Okay, if you click and hold on it, you got 2 different options there. The polygon tool is like working with scissors. It cuts in a straight line and then you turn the scissors, straight line, turn, straight line, turn. The lasso tool is like you're taking an X-Acto knife and you're cutting out, and you can get curves and some finer detail. Okay, I'm going to show you both tools. Okay, so to start out, we're going to use the lasso tool, and I need to target that layer right down. Oh, sorry. There's one thing we have to do first. I forgot about that. It wasn't going to let me do this. All right, so first I need to go here to the select tool and target this guy. And I need to break it apart. So I need to go to Modify, Break Apart. Once it's selected into those dots, then it will let me select the way that I want it to. So I need to click away first, and then let's use that lasso tool to draw around this guy. And it's okay if you're getting a whole bunch of space around it. It's actually kind of preferred because those lines are going to serve as references to help you figure out where to put things. Okay, now when you are done with your loop, you let go of the selection and it will close out the loop. If you let go too early, it's going to close it. It's going to select, basically it's going to draw a straight line across it. Okay, we don't necessarily want that. All right, so once you've got that selection, you need to press Control C to copy, or you can go up here to edit and choose copy. And then you want to paste. Okay, so let's say paste in center. And then let's go ahead and move this guy over. And sorry, I've missed a step there. Let me undo that. Okay, while it's selected, okay, I need to target the layer that I want it on. So I want it in frame 1 on the layer walking. Okay, and now I can paste. And it is in the right spot. So I can drag this over. And I'm going to use that little dot as my guide. All right, so I've got him roughly centered on that space. All right, now the next step. You skip a frame and you go to the next one because, like I said, we wanted to animate on 2s. Okay, and you can see it goes gray all the way through, and we don't want that. What we want is a new keyframe right there, but we need a blank keyframe. Okay, we want a keyframe that's got nothing there. So I'm going to press F7 for a blank keyframe, and you see that thing totally disappears. If I turn on onion skin, you can see where it was. And that's good. We want it as a reference. All right, so next I'm going to show you the polygon lasso tool. And this one, you work by click and release. So you can see it will create these straight lines. Okay, it involves a little bit more clicking. It can take some more time, but it does make it a little bit easier to get detail things like around that hat. Okay, and as long as you don't mind the straight lines. When you're done with this one, because it doesn't do anything if you let it go, you just double click. Okay, once I've got that, I press Control C and I target that space there. Now, if you're not targeting your blank keyframe, it's going to paste it someplace you don't want it. So make sure that you're doing that. Control V to paste it. And let's go to my move tool and let's move that one. Again, I'm using that little dot as my reference. Okay. You can also look at where these straight lines run. Okay. And they should line up. Okay. If you've got onion skin on, you can see where that line is running and where this line is running. You can line those up to make sure that they're in alignment. All right, I'm actually going to go ahead and move this guy backwards just a little bit. I'm trying to pay attention to where the overlapping action is on this belt. All right, I'm going to do one more, and it's my example. So same thing, I'm going to skip a frame, F7 for a blank keyframe, and I'm going to use the lasso tool again, because in a lot of ways it's just quicker and easier. And since I'm copying and pasting, it doesn't really matter if I've got a piece of the hat down there. Okay, Control C to copy, target where I want it to be, Control V to paste, and then drag it on over into position. Okay, and I can see that using that line is ending up lined up. Looks like my line for my foot is ending up pretty good. All right, so I can see what it's doing there. I've only got the first 3 steps, but what your job is to go, I'm going to go ahead and finish out on my own, okay, and then come back. Okay, you do the same.